Here. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Karriem Kanston, the encourager, here to motivate you and inspire you in your life, your career, and your business. I want to thank you for joining us for the Small Business Grant Tips Workshop. Just to let you know, if you haven't heard about Clubhouse before, it is a social app, kind of almost like Facebook rooms, but it has no video, just all voices. And so in that app, been running since May, a room called the Small Business Grant Club. We do tips every week. So if you're on the app, feel free to find us, join us, and we'll definitely would love to have you all there. So what we're gonna do, right? So I want to tell you, get your pen, get your notebook, get your note app out, and just get ready for a lot of great information. And let me tell you why. The information is going to become fast and furious. And you will have the recording. Yes, I'll send it to you after. But you definitely want to take notes because the information is going to be great. So looking forward to having some interaction. Feel free, put any questions in the chat while I'm talking. I have no problem with people, giving me emojis, reaction, raising their hand if they have a question. We just love the interaction. So, and I also love to ask people questions. All right. So who's this for? It's for anyone that's a small business owner, people that are in an organization, nonprofit, helping nonprofits, for-profit, startups, entrepreneurs, early stage businesses, seasoned businesses, and anybody located anywhere in the world. All right. And so this information is yes, I'm in the United States and have a lot of background in helping people, small business in the United States. But I'm going to show you techniques and information where it doesn't depend on where you are. There's still opportunities to find small business grants for you or your small business. All right. So who is this not for? Because I don't like people wasting their time. This is not for people that say can't. Right? Can't. I'm trying to help people to take can't out of their vocabulary, because when you say can't, you're not going to do the next step, which is apply for a small business grant or research for one. Also, people that's not hungry. You got to be hungry to do this stuff, to search for information. And also people that say, hey, I tried it once, I didn't get approved, and you just give up. I'd rather people just say, I'm gonna drop off this this thing right now before you waste any time. And so I just tell people, listen, it's for people that want to take action. It's for people that want to go to the next level and make movement. So this is a little bit about me. I spent over 10 plus years in the banking industry, helping out small business owners find funding, start their business, grow their business, find capital. Also ran a small business administration microloan program for the entire state of Rhode Island, where in order for me to get paid, I had to do loans to minority and women-owned businesses, and we got the operations funded by the federal government through a grant. And so I also do a lot of facilitation, training, helping out entrepreneurs. And I kind of fell into this whole thing about helping small business owners find funding, right? Where they just don't have to, get loans where they have to pay back, but they could get funding where they don't have to pay back. And so just kind of fell into this stuff during the COVID-19 pandemic. Myself and a partner and myself actually helped over 100 plus small businesses find grants, forgivable loans, free resources, and we continue to do that, right? So someone said to me early this year, would you share this information with my entrepreneurship group? So they got me into the bug of sharing this information. And I just love to share this stuff, right? So as I said before, I helped over 100 businesses during COVID-19 find grants, forgivable loans, business resources, and I coordinated federal programs for small business owners. So this is one of our small business owners that we helped. They received over 75,000 in grants and forgivable loans. They are a food catering food truck company, And one of the things they were experiencing is that how do they get their revenues up and how do they survive during COVID, right? Even though they didn't have a sit down, but they still got hit with sales. And so one of the things that we helped them do is actually get a grant to start putting their products in retail stores, right? And so they also received a couple of forgivable loans, which, I call them grants. If you don't have to pay back a loan and it's forgivable, you follow the procedures to make it forgivable, hey, it turns into a grant, right? Another organization we helped over the year, recycling company, and they were growing fast. And the state that they were doing a lot of business for actually has a grant program for-profit businesses and says, hey, we want to help you grow, so you can help us reduce the amount of things that go into the landfill. And we help them apply for $400,000, but they got approved for a $200,000 grant for equipment, right? So just kind of share with you all some of the things that people we helped. We had a nonprofit housing agency. They had tenants that were behind on their rent, and they were trying to figure out a way, how do we help these people out? They've been impacted by COVID-19. They also wanted to give out clothes to children in need, for families. So we helped them apply for a grant. It just popped up from a foundation, and we applied for it. They got the grant funds within 2 weeks. They help people bring their rent current, and also bought some clothes for children for the winter. So that was awesome. So we just love helping people. And personally, I do have a management consulting firm. It's a sole proprietorship. And I show people here, you want to look at the bottom left where it says, wow, bottom left, right? Small Business Administration here in the United States had a couple of advance grants they were giving out. So last year I received $1,000, and earlier she has received the email saying they have another advanced grant program, and I received $9,000 from that program. So there's opportunities out there. So you just have to be strategic. I'm gonna say it again, be strategic about what you're trying to do with your business, right? And then be creative about how do you fund some of these things, and grants can be an option, right? So what does the word mean to you, business? You all can answer the question. What does the word business mean to you all? All right. Put that in the chat. You all answer that question in the chat. What does business mean to you? All right. What does the word business mean to you? If everybody could answer that one in the chat. What does the word business mean to you? Put that in the chat. You all put that in the chat, right? All right. What does the word business mean to you all? All right. We love to get feedback. I see somebody else popped in. Feel free also to let us know where you are from, Denise. People put organization, people want to get help with a grant proposal. So let me talk to you about business. So this guy, if you haven't heard about him, his name is Marcus Labonis. All right. He is actually great person, right? And he actually owns a number of businesses, and he actually has this program called The Profit, right, on CNBC. And he talks about these three things: people, process, and profit. And the reason why I bring that up to people is because people forget about certain things in their business. All right. People forget about certain things in their business. And what I want to let you know, that if you don't have people, all right. Denise, you have a question? You unmuted yourself? I guess not. All right. So if you don't have people, do you really have a business, right? And so if you're trying to grow a business, then every business has a process. You have a process to take money. You have a process of dealing with customers and things like that. And so you need to understand that every business has people, process, and profit. I talk about what I included profit, revenue. I talk about revenue. And so if you are not thinking about these three things, then it's it's uh it's going to be hard on your business. All right. And the reason why I have people take a look at this information is because we forget about sometimes the people, right? In business, sometimes people are looking at the process, the profit, and forget about the people. And so in business, if you want to grow your business, then you need to actually allow your business to grow. All right. You need to allow your business to grow. And so that is what I want to share with you all about, Marcus Lemonis, and, as it relates to him as a business and what he loves to do, and what he loves to do help out small businesses. All right. So, all right. So let's talk about having a roadmap, right? And this is what I want to show you all, right? There's GPS on the right. On the left-hand side, there is small business there's a roadmap here. And when I tell people you should have a roadmap for your small business, what happens is that people get frustrated because they don't have a roadmap for where they want their business to end up. All right. When you put in the location you want to go to in GPS, right, it's going to put you on a map to go there. Right. And so you have to be thinking about what do you want to do for your business, and what roadmap you want to travel. Right. If you want to grow your business, then you need to be thinking about how do you grow it with resources. Right. Is it your own money? Is it loans? Is it equity? Is it grants? And so having a roadmap will help you out. Right. So what can be funded with grants, anything and everything? People are like, what? It doesn't make any sense to me. Well, I'll talk to you about that a little bit later about what can be funded. Revenue can be funded, expenses can be funded, capital expenditures can be funded with the grant. Some types of grants, if you're like in funding, depending if you're in a pre-startup phase of the business, startup phase, seasoned, mature. If you're a nonprofit, then this big one that a lot of people forget about is this thing called workforce development. All right, people forget about funding the workforce development activities. So if you're in a pre-startup phase, this might be some opportunities for you that you can look at. Pitch contests. I know of a serial pitch entrepreneur. She loves to go and pitch her business, and she's I think only raised about a couple $100,000. Right, the seed groups, meaning that there's like groups that people form, nonprofits type sometimes form, and then at the end of a training or a session, they would pick one or two people to seed their business. And then there's education training. So people forget about applying for places where they give you a scholarship to go through like their business accelerator. That is considered a grant. Because if you had to pay for that education as an entrepreneur, it'll be a lot of money, right? And so if you were in, this startup business phase, we usually say, you started the business and incorporated, it was a sole proprietorship, you started doing transactions, you've been in business for less than 2 years, pitch contests is still out there for you, seed groups are there, educational training, and then grants from federal, state, and local governments, right? And you're probably saying, well, I want the links and the information to it. I'm gonna show you little couple tips. How do you get there, right? How do you find out this information? If you're a seasoned or mature business, meaning you've been in business more than 3 years, 5 years, you still have pitch contests as opportunities, seed groups, education trainings, federal and state and local governments. Some foundations give out grants to mature businesses, and definitely for nonprofit organizations, especially now, because of COVID-19, tons of nonprofit organizations are giving grants to small business owners. And this is the big one. Right now, I just got approved for a business that I'm starting because I'm also buying a business. So I got a grant because we're hiring people for workforce development, to train them on the job, to do some on-the-job training, also train it. People forget about this as an opportunity to help out the gaps in your cash flow, right? So just imagine you want to hire workers you don't have enough money to hire them, but there's grants out there you can apply for that can help you hire employees. All right. Most of these grants are reimbursable, but hey, listen, if you get money to infuse into your business to help out your cash flow is huge, right? All right. Next is you know, uh, getting your paperwork in order. That's what I tell people, right? So a lot of people say, "Oh, what's the next step?" But get your financial information together, get your payroll records together, get your business account information together, have your employee identification number. Now, if you're a sole proprietor, I tell people you should apply for a employee identification number that is separate from your personal social security number. The reason why you want to separate yourself from the business, right? Um, and it's so important. So have all the information in one place. I use Google Drive. I have all my information in one place. And when I apply for grants, I apply for contracts. People like, how did you get that information so quickly to me? Because I have everything in one place and I know how to access it, right? And so usually that's why people don't apply for grants, because it takes so much time just to have all your paperwork in order. All right. So why apply for a grant? If you don't ask, you will never receive. Keep on saying, if you don't ask, you will never receive. It's just like getting a customer, right? If you don't ask for the sale from your customer, you will never receive the sale. Same thing with grants. If you're not putting in applications, you're not going to receive a grant. And so why apply? Increase your cash flow, survive, right? Or you might want to grow your company. Large companies know about these things because they have full-time people. So when they have a ribbon cutting and, the government officials like, oh, we're so happy that we gave them a tax break. They haven't, then it also didn't say they're going to get grants, but there's probably grants tied to that tax break also. And also you want to help your employees, right? And so this business that I'm buying, because of grants, I am going to be paying people a little bit more because I'm not sharing the full burden of paying employees. So I could pay them a little bit more, right? And so what that helps me out in the tight labor market is that I can attract a little bit more people to job opportunities. I'm helping them out. I'm helping out my community. All right, so here's a couple of places. Like this is an example of Grantor, Black Girl Ventures. They have like a pitch contest that happens, so they pick three winners, right? First place gets 10,000, second place gets 6, third place gets 2,000. Then look all the other resources that they receive. Salesforce startup package, consulting with lawyers. Lawyers cost a lot of money, right? And so there's many opportunities there for you to apply. So this is giving you an example, right? And so, and I'm going to show you a little bit later how do you search for grants like this. All right, so here's some other resources here. And so you all will get the recording, you get the PowerPoint emailed to you all. So, so there's like, SBA has resources, COVID-19 resources. There, FedEx has a small business grant for 50,000. I have a friend that received one of those grants also, right? There's all Startup Nation has grants. So there's many opportunities out there to obtain grants. You just got to find them. If you're in the UK, if you're in Africa, covering a global world country, Facebook has grants, the UK government has grants, the African nations have grants, right, in the World Bank. So there's many things out there. Now you got to find them. Right. And so I want to talk about this thing called fear. False evidence appearing real. All right. False evidence appearing real. The reason why I bring this up, because so many people are fearful because they get false evidence. They have a friend, they have a colleague to say, I tried it, and they said no. Well, you got to keep on going. You got to keep on moving, right? And you got to keep on putting those applications. So the other thing, you all want to definitely get this down, Google Alerts, right? So one of the things that I use to be more efficient to find grants and for clients, I use a thing called Google Alerts, right? And so what you could do, and you can do that right now, if you have your computer open or your phone open, go to google.com/alerts. And then what you could do is set up alerts to be emailed to you every single day, or maybe once a week. It's up to you, right? And so every day, I get grants sent to me. So I have this alert called Small Business Grants 2021, and it sends to me active grants that's in this year. That's why I put the year 2021. And if I want to be particular and I'm in a certain country, certain state, I'll put the state right before 2021. So that's the way that you can find grants also, right? And so what I want to do, let me stop sharing, and I am gonna actually show you all how do you actually go and you do this stuff, right? So let me get Google up. I'm gonna put Small Business Grants 2021. I'm gonna show you this thing, y'all. I got my other screen here working, and let me get that up. All right, so as you can see here, what I've done is I've actually put in Small Business Grants 2021, and what pops up, we want to go past these ads, right? We're going to go past these things, ads, but of course, the SBA shows up. Of course, LegalZoom might tell you, hey, these are a couple of grants you can apply for, but let's just click on that. 24 small business grants to apply for in 2021, right? It gives you a guide. You can scroll down, and it kind of gives you different types of grants, federal, state, local. This is kind of give you a general idea, but it's not telling you where to go. Grants.gov, that's a place to go. A lot of this is for larger grants, local chambers. So they kind of give you an idea where you could go. See, FedEx grant was listed here. But this is really not getting you down to where you want to go. So if I go back to my search, right? If I go back here and put, let's just say I'm in the state of California. So I'm gonna put California, Small Business Grants 2021. And I'm kind of gonna look for some stuff that I might want to take a look. So California, I click on this one. California has a COVID-19 relief grant program, right? Program is closed right now. But when it was active, hey, they were giving out sometimes up to 25,000, right? So that's the reason why you want to have that search going on, so you could be able to find grants. But let's see what else here. See if they have anything else that we could tap. Amber Grants is kind of like a good resource. Sometimes they ask you to pay for, application. Sometimes you got to be leery about that. But let's look at LA offers 5,000 grants. Small businesses hit hard by the pandemic, right? So if I was in Los Angeles, and see, this ended already, but if I was in Los Angeles, and if I had a grant alert going on, I might have gotten, hip to this grant. It was open from October 26th, November 2nd, come back, check grants. And so what I tell people, the grantor makes the rules. All right. The grantor makes the rules. And I remember some people saying, so let's say I know some people are from Florida. So let's go in here and put Florida, see what pops up for Florida, right? All right, Florida, small business grants. U.S. Chamber of Commerce comes up. I guess there's some stairs from Darren Soto. I guess it seems like there's a congressman. He's trying to give people grants information, right? And so you could take a look at that. Let's see if we can find anything else in Florida. Maybe, I don't know if they've done a lot of stuff in the state for grants, but yeah, I don't see a lot here for, well, if you're a rural businessy, the USDA, U.S. Department of Administration, does grants, right? So, you might want to search by your state. This grant ends, it's open to February 28th. So that's ways of how you could search for grants. All right, it's giving you an idea of how do you take a look at information? How do you, make things happen? And truly is really up to you to kind of like decide, how do you search for grants? So what I want to do now is see if anybody has any questions, just based on what I talked about. Anything feel free to pop a question in chat. And then I will also share with you all kind of like, the small business grant strategy program that I rolled out earlier this year. We're going to do another cohort, I think, starting in January. So any questions that people have about what I talked about so far, all right, feel free to pop some questions in the chat. All right, I'll start sharing, and then feel free to put some questions in the chat, y'all. I know I gave you all some good information. And so also I'm going to share with you all, let's see here. I'm going to show to you all, and I'll put this in the chat. So I started in the fall because people asked me to start a grant strategy program. I'll put in here the link. You all can take a look at it. And what it is a program that helps people strategize about taking their business to the next level. All right. And so take a look at it. If anybody's interested, anybody that has watched this workshop, you can actually get a 50% discount on the program. And so, take a look at the information, and we'll definitely get you into the discount. But any Hey, as my little girls are asking for daddy, so gotta love the kids, right, y'all? So feel free, take a look at the link, y'all, and I will send out the recording to everybody. And if anybody has any information, we'll follow up, and then we'll take it to the next level. Go ahead, Carol, put a question in the chat. Carol, you had a question, or you was giving me a high five? If anybody has a question, feel free to pop them in the chat. All right, awesome. No problem, Carol. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us, and I will send out the recording, and then I will follow up with everybody later on. All right. So thank you all for watching. And hopefully you all have more questions for me when I send your email.